Hi, I'm Lillian, and I have the creepiest story to tell you. But before that, please like and subscribe. I was taken in by my grandma when I was 8 years old. She told the best stories and baked fresh chocolate chip cookies every day, and life was swell until she fell down some stairs and broke her hip. So I was sent to live with my rich uncle. He was a businessman, and with him, I was having a pretty good time. But soon after, Uncle's business started having problems. He went bankrupt and then lost his house. So I was packed off to my aunt's place. Aunt was cool, and she even had a dog who was adorable. The three of us had fun. Oh, until the dog ate something and fell really sick. He didn't survive. Aunt ran away to India to heal her heart, and I ran out of relatives and ended up in an orphanage. It wasn't so bad there, and I even made some friends. But then they all got adopted, and I was the only one left behind.
Don't be disheartened, Lily. I'm sure there's a perfectly good family waiting for you out there.
With my luck, I really doubt it. I was convinced that I was just an unlucky person who was destined to be alone. And as time passed, so did my hope of ever finding a family. But then, a week after my 17th birthday, something unexpected happened. The warden called me into her office and told me that a family wanted to adopt me, and I had to leave for their place the same night. I found it strange because the family hadn't even met me, but the warden said they'd gone through my file and made their decision. As I packed my things to leave, my heart swelled with happiness at the thought of having my own family. But when I reached the address I'd been given, my heart dropped to my stomach. It was a rundown motel located next to a cemetery. Tall iron gates, huge windows, moldy walls. The place looked terrifying. Just then, the main door opened and this lady walked out who looked like she was dressed up for a Halloween party.
Hello, you must be Lillian. I'm Mrs. Edwards. I'm sorry we couldn't come to pick you up. My husband and I had a little emergency.
That's okay. It wasn't... Shh.
Do you smell that? Looks like it's going to rain any second. Why don't you get your stuff inside and I'll show you around. Oh, and did I say how happy I am to see you? I would smile, but I have this condition where my face muscles don't flex the same way anymore. Come now.
Mrs. Edwards took me inside the house seconds before it did start raining like crazy. She showed me around the motel, which was just as creepy from the inside. And then we went into the dining hall where I met her husband, who seemed just as odd as his wife. And then, just as I was about to sit at the dinner table, this girl came out of nowhere and pushed me away. You can't sit here, you ugly toad. Why not? It's empty. Don't talk back to me. My house, my rules.
Ivy, can you please calm down? Lillian, why don't you sit next to me, dear? Now, Ivy, greet your sister nicely. We must make her feel welcome.
She is not welcome, and she is not my sister. And with that, Ivy just ran off, leaving Mrs. Edwards making excuses for her behavior. Mr. Edwards just shook his head apologetically. He clearly didn't talk much. After dinner, she showed me to my room, which was facing the freaking cemetery. I was so creeped out, I couldn't sleep at all. Finally, I got up to get some water from the kitchen, but I found Ivy and her parents there and stopped short to listen.
What's the matter with you? Lillian must have felt so bad and unwelcome.
And how do you think I feel about this stranger living in my house?
We thought it would be nice for you to have some company.
I told you 100 times, I don't need company. I just want her gone. I crept away before anyone saw me. Great, I was unwanted already. Just my stupid luck. The next morning, I was pretty much prepared to head back to the orphanage. But instead, Mrs. Edwards told me she was enrolling me in Ivy's school. I thought I'd use this chance to bond with her, but she was cold as ice. Even in school, I noticed that she hardly spoke to anyone and just kept to herself. Thankfully, the other kids in my class were nicer, especially this one boy, Ben. We sat next to each other in class and even ended up having lunch together. I was just telling him how I'd gotten adopted by the Edwards, and he almost spat out his food.
You're living with those whack jobs? The Edwards owned all the town's major motels, but then guests started vanishing mysteriously. Their motels closed, and they left town for a couple of years and just recently came back. Rumor has it that Mrs. Edwards practiced witchcraft and sacrificed those missing guests for some ritual.
That sounds completely ridiculous, and Mrs. Edwards seems like a perfectly nice woman.
Maybe they're just rumors, but it's not hard to see that the Edwards are an odd bunch. Just be careful. wonderful.
I couldn't deny the facts. They were rather odd. For starters, I had no idea what Mr. Edwards did, and he never seemed to leave the house. Mrs. Edwards only went out at night for groceries or errands. When I asked her why, she made some excuse about hating crowds, and I figured that she wanted to avoid people since the Edwards weren't exactly well-liked in town. I wondered why they'd even moved back here. And there was that one room in the west wing of the motel that always had a huge padlock on it. One time, Mrs. Edwards caught me looking at it curiously, and she told me it was strictly out of bounds. It was clear from her face that questions weren't welcome, so I shut my mouth. One night, as I was studying late in my room, I heard someone talking in low voices outside. I peeked out a few seconds later to see Mrs. Edwards and Ivy walking down the hallway, and I couldn't stop myself from following them. They went up a spiral, narrow staircase to the rooftop, and as I watched them from a safe distance, they held hands and closed their eyes. Minutes after, Mrs. Edwards took out a huge flashlight from the bag she was carrying, and they started flashing it in a weird pattern. A chilly breeze made their nightgowns flail in the wind, and I couldn't help thinking that they kinda looked like witches. When they were done, Mrs. Edwards put down the flashlight, and the two hugged tight and cried.
Do you think our message went through, Mom?
I'm sure it did, honey. I left quietly before they could spot me. It was obvious they wanted to keep this a secret. But who could they possibly be sending messages to? What if they were summoning spirits? Wasn't it bad enough that we lived next to dead people? The next day at school, I was walking into the cafeteria with Ben when I saw some girls surrounding Ivy and throwing their food at her. I was about to rush to her rescue, but she just ran out of there. I followed her into the bathroom, and I could hear her crying in one of the cubicles. Ivy, I saw what happened, and you don't have to put up with this. Come with me. We'll report it to the principal. The door suddenly flung open, and she pushed me out of her way, her eyes red. Why do you care? It's not like you don't think I'm a weirdo, just like everyone else. I'm sure you've heard all the rumors about our family. Maybe we are weird, and maybe I am crazy. And that's why I'm all alone, and always will be. No, you won't. I'll be there for you. If you let me, I don't care about any rumors, and I don't believe them. I like you guys, and who cares if you're a bit weird? Normal's boring. Ivy looked surprised, then gave me a weak smile. We reported the bullies to the principal, and after that day, she started warming up to me, and she was actually fun to be around. She was also really smart and beat me in every round of Scrabble and chess. Then one day, Mrs. Edwards took us out to watch her favorite horror movie, and I had a great time. Oh my god, the way you jumped out of your seat and sent popcorn flying everywhere was hilarious! I almost peed my pants.
And dropped soda all over me, but who's counting?
Yeah, sorry about that, Mrs. Edwards.
Just call me Mom.
Mom winked at me, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I had a family. A strange one, for sure, but I had a place to call home, and I was truly happy. Soon, I even started inviting Ivy to my plans with Ben, and while she was always a sport, I could tell Ben was really uncomfortable around her. Here, I baked my very famous choco chip cookies. Why don't you try one?
Oh, sure. This is so nice. I'm gonna go and enjoy this outside while watching the flowers.
Ben picked up his plate and ran off. I followed him to see him spit out the cookie in his mouth and throw the rest of it in the trash can. Why did you just do that?
What if they're poisoned or have a curse on them?
Seriously?
I'm sure she wants to turn me into a toad. She keeps looking at me like she's about to break into a spell.
You sound so absurd right now. I live with her, Ben, and she's not a witch. I know she's unusual, but can you just give her a chance? Ben was reluctant, but he ended up inviting Ivy for his birthday. The entire class was there, and we were having a great time, till we heard someone screaming. My diamond necklace! It's gone! Has anyone seen it? She kept searching the ground frantically before she spotted Ivy. You stole it, didn't you? What? How would I don't know what trick or spell you used. I just know it's you. Let her go. She didn't steal anything. I was with her the whole time. Ben, tell her. But Ben just stood silently like a rock. Ugh, you're so spineless. We are leaving this party.
Lillian, wait!
No, Ben, I know you don't like Ivy, but this is way too insulting. I grabbed Ivy's hand and we left. As soon as we got home, Ivy ran off to her room crying, and I decided to give her some space. But later that night, I went to check up on her and found her bed empty. I looked all over and then came to the corridor with the padlocked room, but tonight it wasn't locked. Feeling really curious, I crept up to it and gently pushed the door open to see a a very girly room in great condition, with Ivy sitting on a bed and a heap of things next to her. Phone, jewelry, watches.
Ivy, what's all this?
Ivy looked up at me furiously and started stuffing them all into a bag. You have no business being here. Get out! Not till you explain why you have a stash of things that clearly don't belong to you. A bunch of kids and teachers have been reporting things going missing from their lockers. You took them? Shut up and go away. I just offended you and walked out of a party because someone accused you of theft. Why would you do something so awful? You don't really know me or anything about my life, so don't judge me. And I said, get out! With that, she jumped on me. Mr. and Mrs. Edward came running at the noise and pulled her away. When I told them about the stolen things, they looked appalled. They told me they'd return all the stuff to school and then took a crying Ivy away to her room. They gave me no more explanations, just leaving me in the dark as usual. But I crept up to Ivy's closed door and pressed my ear to it. I know it was wrong, but I had to do something. What if Lily reports me to the police?
She won't, honey. Also, I'll talk to the warden and see what we can do.
The warden? Like my orphanage warden? Oh my god, they were gonna send me back. My bad luck had ruined everything again. I just couldn't go back to the orphanage. I wouldn't. So I packed my stuff and ran away. I kept running till I finally saw a bus. But just as I was climbing in, I slipped on one of the steps and fell backwards. My head hit the curb and then I slipped into darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital, surrounded by Mr. and Mrs. Edwards and Ivy. What happened? Why am I here?
Oh, thank God you're awake. You hit your head and fell into a coma, Lily. It took us days to find you. What were you thinking, running away like that?
I heard you and Ivy the night I left, and you said that you were going to talk to the warden. I didn't want to go back to the orphanage, so I ran away before you could send me. What? We weren't talking about the orphanage. Mom was saying she talked to the jail warden about arranging a visit. I guess I should start from the beginning. And it turned out that Ivy had a sister named Mila, who was 8 years older and currently in jail.
Mila got mixed up with a terrible crowd in college, and she was eventually arrested in a really big bank robbery. She was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment in another city, and we moved here to be close to her. But recently, she was transferred to a jail here, right across from the cemetery. So we moved back.
And the rumors about the guests disappearing?
Just our competitors' tricks to give us a bad reputation.
And those stolen things? I stole them because I wanted to save up to get some really good lawyers for Mila who could maybe get her out early. With business going badly, Mom and Dad didn't have any money. Also, some time ago, I saw you two on the rooftop flashing some lights. We were sending Mila a birthday message using Morse code. She can see the lights from her prison window. Why didn't any of you tell me all this? I just hadn't felt ready to share it. I was getting there, though. You're the first person I've gotten close to since Mila. And even though I stole that stuff from school, I swear I didn't steal that girl's diamond necklace at the party.
We should have been honest with you, Lily, but we get judged a lot already, and I understand if you don't want to live with us anymore. We can help you look for a better family.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I like my weird, secretive family, as long as I'm in on all the secrets too. Deal.